Welcome to Catholic Views. I'm your host, Renae Kranz. On today's show, we're going to kick off Advent with Father Zach Schaefbauer. He's going to come in and talk to us about how did Advent start. It's actually a very interesting story, believe it or not, way back in church history, and what to do during Advent. And he actually, at the end, talks a bit about how to be holy. And he makes it seem so much easier than I've ever kind of pictured it to be. So I felt really a lot better after hearing him say that. So please stick around to the end so you can hear that. If you miss it, jump on YouTube and watch it there. First, we have Dr. Chris Bergwald, who I almost called Father Chris Bergwald.
That happens sometimes.
Yes, or Pope or Bishop or whatever.
Yeah.
We have Chris Bergwald with Biblical Bites with Dr. B.
So we're not in Advent yet. You slow the roll there.
Right. That's true. Because this week it'll be like, it's the 11. It's the week after Thanksgiving, which is not yet the first weekend, is it?
No.
So we're close. I'm sorry. Happy Advent next week.
But listen, I actually like that because it's good to think about Advent, to learn about. So
wanted
now
to start before
you can
Advent
go
actually
into
started.
Advent knowing a little bit more. I also have to say, so he's going to talk about the beginning of Advent. It's actually really interesting, believe it or not. Of course it's interesting. Why the implication that it wouldn't be?
It's not just like, oh yeah, we started Advent.
But,
there's actually a story behind it.
There's
and
always a story behind.
That's true.
Always.
It's the church.
Oh, Renee. So yeah, we're not yet in Advent because today is
It's the 34th Sunday, but is the Christ the King.
Yep, our Lord Jesus Christ, King of the universe. Final Sunday of the liturgical year.
Yeah.
So Advent begins technically, Renee. When does Advent begin?
Saturday evening.
Evening, 4:00 Mass.
Yep.
That's the start. That's the kickoff of the new liturgical year.
Yes.
With which we begin with Advent.
Yes.
So
Bill Seeley would be so proud of me for getting that right.
Yeah, he would. At least not so much.
Right.
So this whole week is the final week. Sometimes we think Sunday is the beginning of the week, not the end of the week.
Right.
So the readings are all about Jesus' kingship. Mm-hmm. He is not our Lord Jesus Christ, King of my heart.
Or King of the earth.
Or King of my life,
right.
even. But I think a lot of people, I have a relationship with Jesus, which we are all called to do, which he desires. But he's much more than just my Lord, the Lord of my heart, the Lord of my life. Much more than just he's the King of the cosmos, the King of the universe, or the multiverse, even if you're into that sort of thing. Everything that is, Christ is the King of. And so the readings speak to that, but I want to do, just in a little bit of time that we have before we get to Father Schaefbauer, I actually want to, because I think the readings will be familiar to many of us, I want to focus on the preface.
Okay.
Because the preface is the prayer that the priest says right before we kneel, basically, right before the Sanctus, the Holy, Holy, Holy at Mass. Right. It's the sort of the introductory portion of the Eucharistic prayer before we kneel down for the Eucharistic prayer proper. Mm-hmm. And some Sundays have a preface which is proper to that particular Sunday. So just want to take a little bit here so that maybe by hearing it today, you'll be more attuned to when you hear it. Well, when you hear it at Mass.
Yes.
So it is truly right and just, our duty and our salvation, always and everywhere, to give you thanks, Lord, Holy Father, Almighty and Eternal God. Mm-hmm. That's how they usually begin. Mm-hmm. For you anointed your only begotten Son, our Lord, Jesus Christ, with the oil of gladness as eternal priest and king of all creation. So Jesus is God. He's the Son of God. But in his humanity, he is the successor of David. He's the Messiah, the spiritual descendant of David, who, like David, is going to be a priest king, but not just of the nation of Israel, of all creation. So that by offering himself on the altar of the cross as a spotless sacrifice to bring us peace, he might accomplish the mysteries of human redemption, and, making all created things subject to his rule, he might present to the immensity of your majesty an eternal and universal kingdom, a kingdom of truth and life, a kingdom of holiness and grace, a kingdom of justice, love, and peace. So this is what the Lord is working towards. This is what's being accomplished throughout history, and this is what we are called to participate in. We are called to do our part to help Jesus bring about this kingdom on earth before the end of time.
Yeah, we really need to remember we have a part.
Amen.
So go play it.
That's right.
Thanks, Dr. B.
You bet.